Everything about it is appealing. Everything the traffic will allow. Nowhere can you get that happy feeling like when you're stealing that extra bow. There's no people like show people. They smile when they are low. Yesterday they told you you would not go far. That night you open and there you are. Next night on your dressing room they've hung your star. Let's go on with the show. There's no business like show business. Like no business I know. There is no business like show business. Not as far as this minstrel is concerned. I just celebrated my 41st year as an entertainer, and I've enjoyed every single minute of it, every single second of it, you know? Wonderful. Where except in show business could I have met the great Ziegfeld? And where except in show business could I have played on the same stage with such immortals as Will Rogers and W.C. Fields and Bert Williams and Fanny Bryce and Marilyn Miller and Van Skank and oh, so many others. You know, I first learned about the power of show business when I was a kid on the Lower East Side of New York. I was sent out to a summer camp, Cold Springs, New York, and oh, that first day in camp, a swimming pool. We could take a swim and we didn't have to wait until Saturday night. And oh, the green. Never saw such a stretch of green outside of a pool table. And the first day in camp, on the bulletin board, there was a sign which said, if you can entertain, sign your name here. And this ham with the big eyes was the first one on line. And that night, ladies and gentlemen, before my very first audience, I sang my very first song, and this was it. Harrigan spells Harrigan, proud of all the Irish blood that's in Harriganuc is a name that a shame never has been connected with Harrigan. That's me. And I was held over, yes. All the other kids stayed 2 weeks in camp. I stayed 3 weeks. The power of show business. And the next time I learned something about this great power was in an election. I was campaigning for a young Irishman here in New York, a young Irishman with whom I fell violently in love, a fellow by the name of Alfred E. Smith. And in order for me to gather a crowd around to hear me extol the virtues of Mr. Smith, I sang a song. I sang a song which was written by one of the boys on our block, a kid by the name of Izzy Balin, who now goes under the name of Irving Berlin. And this, ladies and gentlemen, was the song I sang of Irving's. My wife's gone to the country, hooray, hooray. I need a rescue, that's why she went away. She took the children with her, hooray, hooray. I love my wife, but oh, you kid, my wife's gone. I was 11 years old at the time, you know. And one of the boys on the block says, Cantor, you're too good for Henry and Catherine Street. You ought to go where there are bigger crowds on Broadway and Canal. And so the next night I went up to Broadway and Canal, and the following night, even bigger crowds. Always this guy was seeking bigger crowds for me. I didn't learn until years later but he never heard me sing, he never heard me talk. He was too busy picking pockets. Oh, yeah. And when I opened in Gus Edwards' act at Hammerstein's on a Monday afternoon, I picked up the newspaper to learn that this boy was electrocuted that morning at Sing Sing prison for a very notorious murder. And I couldn't help but think that perhaps I was saved by this thing called show business. You know, being with Gus Edwards' act in those days was a distinction. Oh, how we loved Gus Edwards. And the kids we had in that act. Georgie Jessel, Georgie Price, Lila Lee, and a young song and dance man not too good by the name of Walter Winchell. And to see how these kids developed. Oh, look at Walter Winchell, one of the most constructive newspaper men in this or any other country. And Jessel, gosh, how I remember. You know, I knew Jessel when he hated girls. Now look at him, a big producer. most married man we have in Hollywood. The only guy that walks around with a marriage license made out to him and to whom it may concern. And when he gets married, while he's saying I do, he's looking around to see if he can do better. And he's old now, you know. At the last wedding, they didn't throw rice. They threw vitamin pills. And Georgie said to me, Eddie, I'm going to take the plunge again in June. He said, and this time it'll take, because I'm not marrying one of these young, flighty things. I'm marrying somebody a little bit more matured. And I hope that Georgie Jessel and Sophie Tucker will be very happy. Oh, gosh. Traveling around the country with Gus Edwards and singing all the songs that Gus wrote. Such songs. Such songs. Sunbonnet Sue, Sunbonnet Sue, sunshine and roses ran second to you. And school days, heroes golden rule days. And by the light of the silvery moon. And the only song that Gus Edwards did not write in the act, I sang. 2 songwriters brought it to me. I was crazy about it. I begged Gus to let me sing it. He said, Eddie, if you like it so much, go ahead. And this was the first time, ladies and gentlemen, that this song was sung on any stage. Listen. Down on the levee in old Alabama, there's Daddy and Mammy, Ephraim and Sammy on a moonlight night. You can find them there. While they are waiting, the banjos are syncopating. What's that they're saying? What's that they're saying? While they keep playing, swinging and swaying, it's the good ship Robert E. Lee that's come to carry the cotton away. Watch them shuffling along. See them shuffling along. Go take your best pal, William Hell. Go down to the levee, I said to the levee, and join that shuffle and throw. Hear that music and song. It's simply great to waiting on the levee, waiting for the Robert E. Going around the country with these kids, oh, the things we saw, the things we learned, especially Jessel, what he learned, oh, gosh. And in Winnipeg, Canada, we ran across a most unusual type of an actor. In the vernacular of show business, he did what was known as a silent act. He did no talking. But the things that he said off the stage prompted us to say to him, hey, why don't you do it before the audience? He says, gosh, if the audience ever laughed, I'd be most embarrassed. Of course, a few years later, ladies and gentlemen, Will Rogers started to talk, and America listened, and the whole world listened. Because he was more than a cowboy, philosopher, humorist. He was, if you please, the policeman of America who patrolled the beat from coast to coast. And through the medium of his daily column, he had a very potent club, and heaven help you, no matter how big you were, if you did anything to hurt his America, in our lifetime, we will never see another Will Rogers, Great America. Bill wasn't the type of a fellow that sat down at the typewriter to make up these jokes. He was the most impromptu comedian I've ever known. One day at the Palace, he walked out on the stage. The audience started to laugh, and he hadn't even opened his mouth. Couldn't understand why. Turned around, saw a cat. A cat followed him out and sat in back of him, looking up and waiting for himself like that, you know. This quick, Will Rogers says, get out of here, pussy. This is a monologue, not a catalog. Get out. And, of course, one of the great impromptu comedians of our day is my good friend, Groucho Marx. But Groucho met his match. Groucho met his match a few months ago. In Beverly Hills, California, there's a delicatessen store called Feitelbaum. An old man Feitelbaum we're crazy about. A philosophical old gentleman, 78 years of age, stands 6'3", shoulders like this, hasn't been to a dentist in 20 years, has no teeth, you know, no teeth at all. And we begged him 100 times to put something in the pastrami so you can get a heartburn immediately instead of 3 o'clock in the morning, you know what I mean? But he says no. And the last time we were there, he announced to us that he's going to marry the girl in the kitchen, Anna, who is 22. He's 78. Groucho said to him, that is not good, Feidelbaum. That is not good. You are 78. She's 22. That is not good. This could prove fatal. He says, so if she'll die, I'll get myself another one. The greatest impromptu remark I've heard in years came not from an actor, but from a boy in a hospital, Valley Forge Hospital at Phoenixville, Pennsylvania. You know, I was in one of the wards, singing some songs, telling some jokes. I turned to one of the boys in the bed and I said, so long, fella, I hope you get better. He's the same to you, Mr. Kenner. You know, it was my good fortune to meet with Will Rogers again in the Ziegfeld Follies of 1917. What a follies. W.C. Fields, Bert Williams, Fanny Bryce, Ann Pennington, Marilyn Miller. It was wonderful. We traveled around the country from coast to coast. Every year, Ziegfeld would have a new follies. He would have a new follies, Ida would have a new girl. It was wonderful. We kept it. And you know something? One of the great thrills I got in my life was when Ziegfeld sent for me and said, Eddie, how would you like to star in a show all by yourself? It was very frightening, but very exciting. I said, do you think I can? He said, I'm sure you can. And so there emerged from this meeting a show which ran 1,070 performances. A show called Kid Boots. Remember? Oh, yeah. Songs and dances and girls. And in the second act alone, we had 3 song hits. 3 hits. I sang them all. If you don't mind, I'd like to do a medley of these songs that I sang in Kid Boots. If you please, boys. Ain't she sweet? See you coming down. And ask you very confidentially, ain't she sweet? Ain't she nice? Look her over once or twice. And ask you very confidentially, ain't she nice? Just cast an eye in her direction. Oh me, oh my, ain't that perfection? Some confection, I repeat. Don't you think she's nice and neat? And ask you very confidentially, ain't she sweet? Charlie, my boy, oh Charlie, my boy, you've got the kind of sort of bit of a way that takes me, makes me, tell me what shall I say. And when we dance, I read in your glance whole pages and ages of love and romance. They say that Romeo was some lover too, but boy, he should have taken lessons from you. You seem to start where others get through. Oh, Charlie, my boy, he's making eyes. He's almost breaking my heart. I'm beside him. Mercy, let his conscience guide him. Bob, he wants to marry me. Be my honey bee. He makes me weak. He makes me nervous. I have never had such service. Ma, he's kissing me. In those days, mothers used to bring their children backstage to visit with the stars of the Ziegfeld shows, hoping their kids could get a break. They'd audition for them, and I had my share of it. One afternoon, a mother brought in a cute little youngster with curls, a shy little fella. And he sang for me, and he danced, and he told jokes for over an hour. Why I didn't kill Milton Berle, then I'll never know. Never. I shouldn't say that because Uncle Milty has sold a lot of television sets on which we older boys are being seen these days, you know. And I want to congratulate Milton now for signing a 30-year contract with NBC. Of course, they offered me a 30-year contract, but I wouldn't take it. I said 60 years or nothing. I don't want to stop in the middle of my career, you know. You know, at the time I was playing in Kid Boots, there was a show in New York running by the name of The Nervous Wreck. And I liked it. I liked the principal role. And I begged Ziegfeld to buy it for me. I said, Ziggy, with a few songs, we might have another great big musical comedy hit. And he bought it. And that turned out to be Whoopi. Oh, yes. And you know something? I have many pictures in my mind of the great Ziegfeld. Oh, so many. He was the most extravagant, the most fabulous guy that the show world ever knew. But the one outstanding picture is this. Every night, on the stage of the New Amsterdam Theater, about 9:30, I would look in the back of the house, and I'd see him coming in, and he'd lean on the rail while I would sing the song. Every time I hear that dear old wedding march, I feel rather glad I have a broken arch. I have heard a lot of married people talk, and I know that marriage is a long, long walk. To most people, weddings mean romance, but I prefer a picnic or a dance. Another bride, another groom, honeymoon, another season, another reason for making whoopee. The choir sings, here comes the bride. Another victim is by her side. He's lost his reason, 'cause it's the season. Down through the countless ages, you'll find it everywhere. Somebody makes good wages, somebody wants her share. She calls him Toodles and rolls her eyes. She makes him strudel and bakes him pie. What is it all for? So he'll fall for. Another year, or maybe less. What's this I hear? Well, can't you guess? She feels neglected, and he's suspected of making whoopee. She sits alone most every night. He doesn't phone or even write. He says he's busy, but she said, is he? He doesn't make much money, $5,000 per. Some judge who thinks he's funny says you pay $6 to her. He says, now judge, suppose I fail. The judge says, bug, right into jail. You'd better keep her. You'll find it's cheaper.
Hey, what's he talking about?
Oh, I forgot you are American. Where you are from, soldier boy, sailor boy? Who are you?
I'm a farm boy from Nebraska.
From Nebraska. You are a farm boy. And where you are from, please?
I'm a farm boy from Iowa.
I am also a farm boy. All my life, I've been milking audiences. But you know, ladies and gentlemen, I'm not really French. I'm American. And you know something? I'm worried about these boys. Really, I am. I have done a lot of thinking about these soldier boys. Now that all is peaceful and calm, these lads will soon be back on the farm. And the champagne they've been drinking, I know they're gonna miss. So won't you do a little thinking while I ask you this? How you gonna keep them down? How you gonna keep them away from Broadway, jazzing around? you gonna keep him away from harm? That's a mystery. Imagine Reuben when he meets his pa. He'll kiss his cheek and holler, ooh la la. How you gonna keep him down on the farm after they've seen Paris? Down on the farm, that's a mystery. They'll never want to see a rake or plow. And who the heck can pollywoo a cow? How you gonna keep them down on the farm after they That was a song which you older birds must remember. I introduced in the Ziegfeld Follies of 1919. I picked that song. I'm very proud of it. I picked a lot of songs in my life. Yes, we have no bananas and Margie and Ida and If You Knew Susie, but I wasn't always that lucky. One time a young songwriter, a cute fella, came to me with a song, and he begged me to sing it. I said, it's no good. It's no good. He said, if you don't like it, I'll take it to Al Jolson. I says, go ahead and take it. Give it to him. Go ahead. And that's how Al Jolson got Swanee from George Gershwin. Oh, yes, we make more mistakes in judgment in our business than in any other walk of life. I can recall in